Peace, 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 peace. It is your sister Roo, Mawulisatemple, beautiful upstate New York, Hudson Valley, and you are here on Saturn Day, Portal Day, 8/8/26, with me and my brother Nick. Oh, I got bars. Look at that. You see what I'm saying? We are here for UnRead Book Review with Nick and Roo, and we are ready to bring you another hit. This is a surprise week. So for those of you who know, you know, but those of you who don't, surprise week. So when we bring books that we neither one of us know about, so we're going to have something exciting for you. But like I said, if this is your first time here, welcome. If this is not your first time here, welcome back. We are here just so happy to share with you books, unread, read, reread, recommended, we written. How about that? Oh, so we are here to bring all the books to you. The ones we love, the ones we hear about, and the ones we definitely feel are worthy of sharing for reference and for refinement. Because you know we about that refinement here. Mawulisatemple, uplifting fallen humanity. Brother Nick, talk to me. Tell me what's going on, my friend. My friend, what do you have for us this week?
Hey, welcome to August, everyone. This is our first show for the month of August. Summer is moving by swiftly, but it's been a great time so far. A great time of just spending time with family, enjoying the weather when the weather does act correctly, and enjoying some time off before the school year starts for me. Still have about a month left, so I'm enjoying the time that I have left to not only relax, but just take care of some things, take care of home. I've been, like I told you offline, I've been decluttering the space. I got the clean part in the frame, but if I move the camera around, you'll see some mess all over the place. So
look, I'm not even in my workspace, so forget about it.
Yep. So I'm decluttering, and hey, this is, this is going to be a good show because this might be the first time, maybe on UnRead or maybe that I've seen on any program that my sister Roo got the locks down, tied back, and she got them down. Usually she got them up, but she got them down.
Yeah, I realized that. You're serving brother right there. Yeah. Ooh, sometimes you catch me slipping.
Oh no, you keeping us on our toes,
Yes, definitely got some of my antennas down, trying to feel what you got going on over there. So, I need a little extra help today.
All right. Well, help is here. The help is here, So, and then, then I guess I'll say one thing about the portal, since you did mention it, is the 8/8 portal. It's the first 8/8 portal because we'll have 3 of them this month on days that add up to the 8th. So the 8th, the 17th, and the 26th. And, according to our studies of the 8/8 portal, aka the Lionsgate portal, this is the time when, we're still in the dog days of summer, so we're into the height, the peak of the dog days of summer, where the Sirius star is alignment with the Earth and the sun, and it's said to be a very spiritual time and a very, very powerful time for manifestation. And it's a window. So the gate opens up on a certain day. I believe the gate either opens up today or it opens up a couple days before, and then it lasts. Or actually, I believe it opened up at the end of July, and it goes into a few days past the 8th. But the 8th is the peak of the Lionsgate portal. So a lot of spiritual energy, like I said, manifestation energy, and that 8 is the perfect number for manifestation as it's connected to abundance. 8 is the number of abundance, and it's also the infinity symbol. So that infinite symbol of build and destroy in abundance. So yeah, exciting time of the year.
Absolutely, absolutely.
But I am ready for episode 48.
Yeah,
48.
I listen, we've been doing this for a little while now. I know we go every 2 weeks. We could go every week if we really wanted to, but we go every 2 weeks. But I think about all the amazing books that we have covered, amazing guests that we've had on, and it's just like we have had some fun. And so I'm looking forward to this next, to the rest of the summer and our fall winter season, because we cut up in the fall and the winter because we ain't got nothing to do but sit in the house and read. So we come with it in that time. So I hope all of you join us for the rest of this summer and get some of that fall and winter work too. Ball up with us, curl up with us, and get some of this work, because definitely there for you to get. So Nick, I don't know. You said you got something good here, something you never brought. So I'm excited. So I mean, do you want to go first, or would you like for me to go first?
It doesn't matter either way. I'm
I'm
good
just
either
saying.
way.
Or do you feel like you're bubbling to get ready to break loose and tell us? Because if so, I'm here for it.
No, not necessarily. Not
Okay.
necessarily bubbling, but yeah.
Okay, all right. In that case, I'll take it. Just like you got me with my head down, I'll go first.
Okay, all right, that'll work.
And maybe it's here to just help with this topic, because I don't know. I'm on my refinement thing, and I'm going through. As dean of education, one of my jobs is to put together the programs for the seasons coming. So I'm doing something different this fall and this winter. So I'm revisiting some old books, so I can swap out these other ones that we've been doing. Like, for example, we've been doing Retire Your Family Karma. I looked at it today. For like 10 years, we have been using that book every fall. Wow. You know what I'm saying? And let me just say, I'm still going to use it this fall because I'm still doing some ancestral work. But man, what a way to just dedicate and lock into every season, taking the time to really connect, with ourselves and our ancestors. So the new books that I'm bringing in for this fall and winter are not books that we haven't used before, but books we haven't used in a long time. So as we talk about what UnRead, a lot of the books that we bring to you, either we got them to teach a class, or we were in a class, or a friend gave it to us, or or somebody gifted it to us, or we found it, or it called to us, or whatever. So some of these books are rereads, but some were bought with the intentions to do bigger things. And the book that I bring today is one of those. Now, I brought back this one here because it kind of ties in a little bit. And this one is the one I brought on Ted Andrews, How to Heal with Color and Balancing the Chakras. I got a lot of feedback from that, in terms of questions about the chakras and things like that. So I thought this book would be fitting, because this is one of the ones we'll be using as a group in the fall and the winter. A lot of our work is individual, but we do some group work together, because when the community comes together to heal, we understand that different things take place. That used to be a normal thing for people to come together in the time and the need for healing for community. So without further ado, I bring to you Barbara Bowers. What color is your aura? Now, I know that gets a little woo-woo for some people, but we're going to give you the science on it. So first, I want you to take a picture, look at this picture. Now, this book is old. I need you to remember that. So you see it's got a little bit of love up top, but you see that? That shows the human body, and all that around it is different colors, energy, and each one represents a different type of energy in the body, right? So I want you to just keep this picture in mind, okay? And so let's see what this talks about here. What are we talking about? It says, your aura, the colored band of energy that surrounds your body, is a powerful key to your personality. There are 14 essential aura colors, and one of them is yours. When you know the specific aspects of your aura color, you can better understand your emotions, your talents, and potential. You can also explore which colors you are most compatible with romantically, sexually, in your friendships, and in your career. And it goes on to say, what color is your aura reveals the vital connection between your aura and your personality, and is the only book that includes a certified test you can use to determine on your own the color of your aura. Author Barbara Bowers, a management consultant and career counselor, developed the personality spectrum system after years of research based on her ability to see auras. Her unique system will help you to determine the career choices that match your innate talents, choose the best friends, lover that you can for yourself, understand different styles of communicating and how you can get through to anyone, find out the best ways to manage your money, discover secrets about your personality and your sexual personality, take a personal and professional risk that might be right for you. So in this book, it mentions that there is a questionnaire that is comprised of 98 questions, right? I'll read a couple just so y'all can kind of get an idea what they are. But before I get to that, I want you to know that is there, that questionnaire. So before we go further, I told you what the book is about and what its goals are. So let's talk about the book itself. It was done, the original publication was out of Pocket Books, a division of the Simon and Schuster Inc. In New York, copyrighted 1989. So like I said, it got some love on it. 1989. And it says Barb Bowers is director and founder of the Barbara Bowers Consultants, Barbara Bowers Design and Life Color Inc., and has served as a personnel management consultant for Fortune 500 companies and as a consultant and team builder for various school districts. A former high school teacher and guidance counselor, she has served as an educational consultant for California Council of Social Studies and the University of California System and the University of Ohio, Boise. So she was one of those counselors we went to when we went to high school, and they're like, okay, so what you gonna do when you grow up, basically. And she was the one who would probably get, I forget the word, the sentence for the word that TABE test that they give you to best see where you're fit, like what kind of jobs or what have you. So I guess she was the one who would deliver that, and then based upon that, help you find jobs, or careers, or point you in the way of careers that end up allowing you to have the job that you want to have. But what she learned was that she felt she had an advantage because she was able to see auras. And so she was able to better understand what her students would excel at, where they would struggle, what type of personality they were, and etc. Now she didn't, it doesn't say she incorporated any of that in that system when she was working with it, but I would imagine that this type of ability of skill would allow for that type of person in that job to be more efficient because they can see something we don't, you know, and we know many times other people see our potential and we don't. So that's very common. And she said she had an extra advantage by being able to see these colors. So she goes on, let's see, it has chapters here on the human rainbow, and then it's the questionnaire. So with this book, you really don't go any further until you've done the questionnaire, because you would be looking for something specific to you. And then once you learn a little bit more about the color specific to you, then you would go in and see how those colors interact with other colors, etc., in the exercises that she has in here. But I will go ahead and tell you the colors because I thought they were interesting because, you know, in many of the metaphysic and esoteric studies, when they talk about the aura, they use or the field around you, they only usually refer to the colors like they did in that rainbow in this book. So from red to violet, you understand what I'm saying? But here I found it interesting that she entered some other colors that were not a part of this chakra color system that we are more familiar with. So the colors are red, orange, magenta, yellow, physical tan, mental tan, green, nurturing tan, loving tan, blue, violet, lavender, crystal, and indigo.
Okay.
When I first read that, I remember saying to myself, tan. And then it's a physical tan, a mental tan, a nurturing tan, a loving tan. What is this tan? And where did it come from? And I also remember spotting the very first time that they had violet and lavender separated. Because when we think about violet and lavender, we think about purple, which is all in the same family, but it's very different when you're looking at the human rainbow. So in the human rainbow, the first part of the book, she talks about the human aura and the personality attributes revealed by the rainbow of colored light that surrounds the body. It says that the aura is an electromagnetic field that emanates from all living things. The colors and patterns within this energy field constitute a kind of blueprint of a person's soul, a chart of an individual's potential. It says she's developed a system that she calls the personality spectrums to assist people in finding their pathway to a full and productive life. And she says people who know the color of their personality are able to make decisions, implement changes, take risks, not out of fear or anger, but from the power that comes from knowing themselves. And I mean, isn't that the goal for all of us, most of us who are on this journey? Well, all of us on this journey is to really know ourselves. Some of us don't know it yet. That's why I said some of us, but yeah, all of us, to know ourselves, whether we know it or not. The information, she goes on in the rest of this chapter, and I'm skipping around because again, this information is, think of this more like a booklet that you'll be like a workbook, you know, and you can't really go any further until you do the workbook test to figure out where it is you belong in the book. But she does a great job in the beginning of talking a little bit about the personality spectrums. So she talks about the approach to the physical reality and how that includes environment, health, and the real world. Mental attitudes, which includes intellectual capabilities, thinking, and problem solving skills. Emotional makeup, your personal interactions with emotional health and well being. Your social style, your friendships, and intimate relationships. Compatibility with other colors includes your strengths, your weaknesses of each pair of colors for emotional, mental, and physical compatibility. So this is letting us know you might be physically compatible or mentally compatible, but incompatible in other ways. Your personal power and leadership style, which talks about the power and leadership skill within a group. Financial choices, your attitudes and values concerning money and finance. And that is very important. And Nick, I know you can speak directly to this about dollars, with your work that you do in Dollars, Dreams, and Destiny about mindset, and the other work that you do about mindset and what you think about money and how that really does matter. So she covers that in here, which ties right into career options. Why are you doing something? So representative careers in which individual talents and capabilities would lead to success. So this would help you, instead of wandering, focusing and dialing on that which is best to help you in that area of finance. And last but not least, spirituality, which talks about moral, ethical, and religious attitudes, feelings, and values, because all of that is very important as well. And understanding that inside your own self and your personality type helps you to be able to better function in the world, because again, no man is an island. And for those who don't know what that means, is you can't do it all by yourself. You gotta interact with the rest of the world. That's what you're here for. Each aura has an individual pattern of behavior that are distinct from each other in each other color. In some cases, behaviors may be similar, but the motivations that fuel the behaviors are different. So you got some people that are in, let's say, a particular field for one thing, somebody else did just for the money. You understand? Not saying that one is right or wrong, it's just what they're there for is different. Some people want to go to school to be an engineer. Some people go to school to be an engineer because it's a good job. You know what I mean? It makes good money. So same thing there. Understanding the basis of people's deep-seated drives helps us to be more tolerant of the external actions and the words of others. I think, I don't really be highlighting and things like that, but this book got highlights in it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna let you know it was some good stuff in here. And I mean, I'm teaching from you got to remember, when I got this book, I'm teaching as a teacher, but as far as a student. It wasn't like I knew this stuff. It wasn't like it was someplace I can go and learn this stuff at that time. So I was learning right along with everybody else. And so to be bringing this work back again here in 2026 is really a gift for me, because it allows me to go back now with the wisdom that I've had over these lots of years to revisit this book again. So and being tolerant of people externals actions is so important. And not just being tolerant of it, because I don't want it to seem like we're supposed to just put up with anything from anybody, but if we know that Sally has impulse control problems, this is her personality type, we're not surprised when she does something that lacks impulse control. You see that would, or should I say, that would require control over her actions at that moment, her impulses. Now, after it's said and done, will there be consequences? Should it have been checked? Can it be checked and quelled before? Well, if it's there, that's when you can work on it. You can't work on things you don't You don't know. So this is again another tool to help us know ourselves better. It talks about compatibility, and I found this part interesting. It says compatibility are different for each aura color. Now listen, how green relates to red may be different than from how red relates to green. So I can be red and I'm relating to you, and we still our same colors, but I can't get where you're coming from. But you're able to get where I'm coming from. It's something in your green that allows you to understand red, but it's something in my red that doesn't allow me to understand green. It's very interesting, fascinating stuff. It says, therefore, you need to read in your color chapter and how your color relates to your mate, your lover, or and then turn to your partner's color chapter to see how they relate to you. So for those who are into things like relationship, divination, things like that, another tool to put into your book is this. People who do compatibility charts. I can see them using something like this as a tool, just suggestions. She goes on page 14. It says here, a word of caution. And this was one of the only words of caution that I found in here, and I have it highlighted. It says, a word of caution. There are no good colors and no bad colors. Each color within the personality spectrum has strength and weaknesses. And I think that's important to point out about anything or most things that we study, especially at this esoteric and metaphysic level, is there is no good and bad, no right and wrong. There's levels to this thing.
That's right.
There's levels. And everything has its strengths and everything has its weaknesses, and things have, actions, have reactions, et cetera, et cetera.
Yep.
So,
Wow.
So far I've given you basically the breakdown. I just want to say this last part, and then I'll read a couple of these questions, and maybe you can ask me about a specific color and I'll tell you something about it. But I would love for people to join Mawulisatemple this fall, man. We're going to be doing this right here. We're going to be talking about our colors. We're going to be learning these auras. Yeah, okay, so it says the aura is a luminous, egg-shaped cloud of pulsing energy that surrounds the human body. It extends out from the body about 6 feet in all directions. That's when somebody be saying, back up, give my person space. Back up, give me 6 feet. That's exactly what they mean. Give me my 6 feet. It's made up of concentric bands or layers of colored light, that travel in patterns around the body. It says, to me, the color is the most important aspect of the aura. Each color in the auric spectrum can vary greatly in hue and value. The more in touch we are with our own unique talent and skills, the richer and more luminous the colors in our aura will be. The colors of individuals who are emotionally withdrawn or have given up on life tend to fade into thin pastel washes. Good physical, mental, and emotional health is seen in clear, bright colors. Depression and anger and self-pity tend to muddy the auric colors. I'm going to tell you something. I remember the first time I ever saw a muddy aura. It is luminous. It reminds you of the movies when you just see a little, spirit or something, that they got it trying to, that's kind of what it looked like. But when the aura is bright, it is bright. But when it's thin, it is thin. But that muddy one, that is you can tell, it makes sense that that's depression or sadness, because I would imagine, well, I don't have to imagine what depression feels like.
Yeah.
I don't have to imagine what depression feel. It feel muddy, y'all. It feel muddy.
It sounds
So
muddy.
the fact that that was the way she described it, really, touched base with me. And then she talked about the size of it. Size does matter in this case. Some people's auras are large and full of information, while others are thin, indicating lives that are spiritually, mentally, emotionally undernourished. So if you got a thin aura, unlike being a thin supermodel, a thin aura means you need to get on some of that spiritual, mental, and emotional work because you undernourished.
Mm.
The shape of the aura is indicative of general health and well-being of an individual. It identifies the area of the body where individuals hold stress. Now I'm gonna let you know, we in Leo season, heart season, low back season. Now, a lot of people, I was just talking about this, low back, those pains usually come from financial insecurity, financial worry, financial frustration. And the heart, that's right there in the center. You know for yourself when your heart ain't right, when your heart ain't right when you're sad, depressed, and all the other things. So right now, if you saw somebody's aura that was under this influence of the energy going on now, you can see like a little bubble in the aura. Like it might look like it's floating out a little bit, or might look a little depressed and flat. Like, instead of being that perfect egg, it might look mashed in or leaned out this way. So, again, this is fascinating work. And she goes on to talk about, let's talk about this. A thick aura indicates the ability to search within oneself for information to solve problems. I thought that was interesting because, when we have to go in, right, to search something inside of ourselves, it's like we have to build a little something outside of us, because distractions is going to continue to come. As soon as you say I'm gonna do XYZ, every distraction in the world come. So if you think of your body and your aura that way, when you are working on yourself, the thicker the aura around you, the less things can penetrate and cause you distraction and take the focus off of you. Because at the end of the day, it's about you, not in a selfish way, but in a way that allows you to be selfless. Put that on t-shirt, and I want my cut. Thank you very much. Thank you. Yeah, so I want to touch on this because I started to pull out one of my Curlian photography photos, which is a auric photo. I've taken some of those. I started to pull out one, but I was like, I don't want everybody knowing all my shit, you know what I'm saying? So I was like, if you can't see it, you ain't need to know it. But anyway, it says for 50 years. Now, mind you, this was 1989. So for 50 years at this point, the Kirlian photography has been used to study the high frequency energy fields known as the aura, and its purpose has been to document the phenomena of electromagnetic energy that emanates from all living organisms. I will say, when I looked at mine the very first time, I understood why they separated lavender and violet, and they called neither one of them purple, because neither one of them looked like purple. It looked like lavender and it looked like violet. That's what it looked like. So let me just say that that's a great description, is lavender and violet. And yeah. So it just lets us know that the Kirlian photography does not pretend to prove the existence of the aura. It only points to evidence that something larger than just the physical form or body exists. Right? So for all those, skeptics, because I mean, if you've never heard of this stuff before, I'm sure it sounds supernatural, because it is. We are walking in the supernatural here. And I'm not picking on any particular religion, but everybody that practices some type of religion talks about supernatural things. So, I mean, just because you don't know about it don't mean it don't exist. Or you might call it something different. So before we go turning our backs and saying what works and what doesn't and what's fake and what's not, let's take a moment and use our thinking to decide if the information that's being shared, one, is something of benefit, and two, maybe correlates to something we already practice or believe in. You know what I mean? People talk about, for example, Christians talk about the Holy Ghost, the Holy Spirit, or laying of hands, or these different things like that. What that's energy work. Chanting, reciting the Quran, all these things, energy work. It's the vibration, it's the tones, and it even there's some point where they talk about how sound affects the aura, so let's move on to this questionnaire, and then I'm gonna stop talking. So they have, like I said, there are 90, what did I say, 98 questions. And each one, all right, so this scoring sheet is different than how, a lot of scoring sheets are. Each one has a number value. I thought you would find this interesting, Nick. Mm-hmm. Each one has a number value. And then when you take all the numbers and you fill them in, then you add the numbers or subtract the numbers or whatever they have you doing in each particular one. So it's very, very interesting. I mean, I'm like, this is some fascinating stuff, So, and again, it's simple enough to, it's simple enough for us to sit down and figure it out and do it, but it's also intricate enough to and detailed enough to give us a real handle on our auras, our particular color, what it means, how we use it, how it affects us, etc., etc. So the key to the questionnaire is 1 through 5. 1 means this does not describe me. 2 means I am very seldom like this. 3 means I am sometimes like this. 4 means I am often like this. And 5 is this is me. Okay. So question number 1, I thought this was interesting for all us heady McHead people. It says question number 1, you are methodical in your thinking. I think everybody who rock with us, Nick, would put 5 there, 4 or 5. What do you think?
Yeah.
4 or 5, right? Mm-hmm. Number 2, you have a strong inner desire to make your mark on the world. A 4 or 5, most people that we rock with, right?
Yeah.
You resent emotional and domestic demands made on you. Yeah. I don't like the demands made on me. I don't like demands made on me. Number 4, esoteric, spiritual, or political philosophies have great emotional and intellectual appeal for you. So 5 for me.
Yeah.
No, here's one to make you laugh, Nick. You cry easy. Anybody that look, Anybody that rock with me, let them know, Nick. She will cry on you in a what? I'm not holding none of them tears. Do you know how many tears I had to hold over all my life? Man, please, you get what? Get all them things out my body.
Yeah,
You know?
that number 2 energy right there.
Yes, sir. That's right. Aquarius all day, boo-boo. I'm crying for the world. Jesus wept, okay? Number 10, you are a loner. You know, let's see. 13, you prefer working jobs that are physically demanding. 18, when you have money, you spend it. When you don't, you don't. And then it has things like, you are a nonconformist. You are slow to choose friends. You're a spontaneous person. You rarely show your deepest feelings. And again, you're going through here and doing this work individually, writing these numbers from the key you're plugging them into this specific system. Now, you're not just writing them down willy-nilly. They're going in this system in this way, because each one of these boxes has a number above it that needs to be added up. That's where that numerology aspect, Nick, that I thought you would like comes in. So in this first line where you're answering questions here, it gives you box 1, 1 plus box 2, which is 15. Box 3 is 29. Box 4 is 43. You see what I'm saying? So each one of these you're adding or either subtracting or whatever it is it has you doing with these numbers, and then it equals at the end, and you get a master number or a total for your colors over here.
Okay. So this is how you determine what the aura is.
Yes. With the aura color, your prominent aura color is. And again, this is about the personality type. So red is the first one here. So I'm just going to give a little bit about red and then I'll stop. So let's say you've done this work and it says your aura is red. Physical and sexual expression is the hallmark of a red. The key to success for reds is to act on what they know about physical reality and the tangible environment. Reds are literal in their interpretation of what goes on around them. They are not abstract thinkers, and for them, a table is a table, period. They are comfortable and safe in the world of nature and the elements. They pursue life with gusto and courage. The most powerful aspect of red is their ability to be in the world, to manage the aspects and realities of everyday living with self-confidence and assurance. Their gift is the respect and the awe that they have for the majesty and the might of nature. They seem to understand their role in the equation of humans' physical reality. And whether they are riding out a hurricane, rescuing a person from a burning building, or living their own lives, Reds love being here. Okay, so then it gives their approach to physical reality, their mental attitudes, their emotional makeup, and their social style, and their compatibility with others. So again, this is a great book. It talks about the physical, their compatibility, like for example, mental colors for red that are compatible to them. Mental tans are logical, steady, and security and conscious. Reds are independent, hardworking, and on occasion volatile. The physicality of the red helps the mental tan get out of their head, and the intellectual capabilities of the mental tan give balance and structure to a red's energy, assisting the red in creating positive outlets for self-expression. You see, so you learn how to see people not only in your life as, oh, well, what is it that they bring? You know, I always laugh when people talk about, well, what is it you bring? The experience. If you're in a relationship with someone, there's an experience there. I don't care if it's the man at the grocery store. I don't care if it's the bus driver. These are relationships. And how we interact with people says a lot about us and them. And by dealing with things like this auric personality, if you're a person that begins to learn and touches, or should I say taps into your ability, because we all have the ability, taps into the ability to be able to see auras, you won't look at that bus driver the same no more. Because you're not seeing him, you're seeing his aura. And you already know who you're dealing with. You know what you're dealing with. That day, he might be muddy. Maybe he's sad. Might not be the day to joke with him about that extra nickel for the, for the bus or whatever. So, again, great book. I can't wait to get back in it. I can't wait to find out what it says about me. And I can't wait to see other people use it as well and hear their feedback. So, my book for today, Barbara Bowers, What Color is Your Aura? Personality Spectrums for Understanding and Growth. Anybody want to join us this fall? Check us out and let us know. But right now, you should grab yourself a copy. You don't have to wait for us. You can jump right on it. So, this is a good one. What Color is Your Aura? Barbara Bowers. Yeah. Bye-bye.
Oh, yeah. That sounds like a good one. Shoot, and you got me excited for fall studies. See, last year I did not participate in fall studies because the fall is usually a very busy time of the school year for me. But I don't know, I might have to move some things around and manage some time a little bit better so I could participate, because I've been missing out on the retiring family karma, and I'm like, no, I can't miss out on that last bit of retiring family karma and the auras too. So I got to sign up this fall. I'm going to have to
listen, you've been with us before in the fall, and we always keep it fun. It's
we did.
Knowledge of self, getting to know yourself, learning who you are, becoming who you are. There are growing pains, but there should be some fun, some excitement to this. And books like this are exciting for me, and for many others, because because some of us are a little more seasoned, we can look at this and track our lives back and be like, I remember being like that. Oh, yeah, I remember that phase I went through. You and I were just talking about the eclipse, and they were saying, you said you saw a meme or a poster going around asking, what were you doing in 2017, the last eclipse? Think about that. This book, we've been studying since the 90s. So what was I doing in 1996? I was giving birth. That's what I was doing. I was giving birth.
Woo!
I was giving birth. I got a 30-year-old. It's 26. So 30 years ago, I can think about what was going on 30 years ago and be like, oh, I remember. That's why so-and-so. I see. My energy was different. I was going through said thing or whatever thing. And this is great. I mean, again, it's all about refinement. And it's not about right or wrong. Were you right? Were you wrong? Were you good? Were you bad? This is about where were you and where are you now? What's here right now? Today, the present, the gift that is right now. Where are you? What are you doing with it? Do you recognize it? Do you understand it? Do you know who you are? Do you know why you're here?
Mm-hmm.
I question that every day. Why am I even here, yo?
Mm.
Why am I even here, yo? What am I doing here?
Mm-hmm.
What was the purpose? What did I come here to do? I ask myself every day. Every day, what are you doing here, yo? But we also know I'm an Aquarius, so I got a spaceship that I've been waiting to get in anyway.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But for those of you who know. But you know, it's I definitely question daily. And you know, as I was just saying to my daughter, none of this is easy. And nobody said it would be. But what it did say is that you would have tools, and that the more you refine yourself, the easier it would become. And you know what? That has proven to be true. That has tracked. The more you know, the better you, and the more equipped you are to deal with whatever said thing is. It's about, you know, about action and not reacting. And the only way you can act proactively is to get in there and get to work. Know who you are, know what you are, know why you're here. And even if you don't, keep searching. So this is a great book. I look forward to getting into it in the fall. Those who decide to join us, join us. But even if you don't, please pick up this book, you know, and just write us. Tell us what you got from it. Tell us, has it helped you at all? Because this is what we do this for, not just to share and geek out and show you our libraries, but it's to share things, tools that we've either used ourselves, that have been given to us, that we've come across, that have helped us in the journey of self-development. We talk about it's not easy. Well, it's not easy if you're not going to take some suggestions.
Yep.
You know, talk to somebody who done what you're trying to do.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody,
True.
we are all apprentices. We are all learning this thing. We are there's no big ones and little ones. It's us, it's we.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so get that work, y'all. What color is your aura? Any questions, Nick? Any idea? Any thoughts on this? What's up?
Yeah. Had a couple on one of the questions that I thought of. You kind of answered in well, I kind of answered in part, but you know, I would also love to get your perspective and idea on it, because you mentioned a couple of the other sciences and other tools. In the beginning, you mentioned the chakras, because the chakras have colors, so you can see how the chakras and the auras kind of work together. And then we just got done talking about fall studies and how you'll be using this work along with retiring your family karma. And then I also thought about numerology too, especially when you were discussing going back into time and thinking about what were you doing or what were you going through back in 1995 or whenever it was. So I can see how this can line up with numerology in the sense that you can take any year that you want to know about, past, present, and future, and calculate it and see what the energy or frequency is. But my question is, I guess, aside from those tools and those sciences, what might be some other good companion tools or companion sciences that you can use in conjunction with this work with the aura colors?
Great question. Great question. Great question. All of them. But what where I saw this is in its most value, or should I say where I am at now in my studies, and where I'm in terms of again being the one that puts a lot of these lesson plans together, where I can see it merging really nicely is with astrology. Because one of the first things I would do, and that, for those who want to sneak peek into probably one of the lessons that'll be taking place this fall, sneak peek, heads up, maybe you might want to do it in advance. is one of the first things I would do after I found my aura color and it started to give me those basic characteristics. I would see how close or far they line up with my big three.
Mm.
My sun, my sun, my moon, my rising. Because that red sounds like what? Like Aries, right? Sounds like Mars energy. Sounds like Scorpio energy. It's fiery. It's fiery, but also somewhat emotional, but not really. You know, it could be it could be Leo kind of energy, fire, Sagittarius kind of energy, fire. But then as it begins to talk about things like because I remember that question about being as physical as possible. My daughter is an Aries, and that's one of the things she loves, being physical. She loves things where she can get out and use her body in nature. You know, walking, climbing, hiking, whatever, you know. As a person, so knowing, so like I said, with astrology, you know your big three, right? Your sun, moon, and your rising. Now you know your aura color. What in my aura color and my sun, moon, and rising match? You know, where can I see my personality type inside these big three? Or vice versa. Where can I see these big three inside this personality type? What does it say about my job? Am I in the job that it says I would be good at? Have I done some of the things that it suggests? Have I ever worked in some of those fields before? Things like compatibility with others. I would begin to examine things like relationships. You know, and the first relationship is the one with your mother. So now it tells you that you can't go, or you should not go looking for your loved ones and things, colors first, until you get very familiar with your own. So that would probably be like lesson 7 down the road or something like that. But that first lesson for me would be taking your big three and seeing how they compare to your auric color that is dominant in your body, around your body.
Okay, good. Oh, interesting. Yeah, and that makes sense. I can see how the astrology lines up with that. And it's interesting that you just mentioned looking into the auric colors of your family members, and it brings me to my last question, because you showed the questionnaire, and that shows how you can identify your auric colors by answering the questions and tallying up the results. So my question is, how could you use this book, or does this book instruct you on how to possibly identify auras on the spot? So let's say, like you gave the example of the bus driver. You know, let's say you're right on the spot. You know, you don't. You know, you're not able to do the questions or ask the person the questions or whatever the process is. Is there a method where you can kind of read someone's aura that you first encounter, that you may not know you were going to encounter that person? Is there a way to identify their energy or their aura, you know, just like instantaneously on the spot?
Yes. 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 So let me read this first.
Okay.
And you'll see how it ties into the answer that I'm going to give you.
Okay.
Inshallah. Right before the questionnaire begins, right? Again, like I said, this is one of those books, everybody has one in who's ever taken this class, is because this is your book. This is your workbook forever and ever. Amen. Right? So it says here, you may want to give friends and family an opportunity to take the questionnaire. And that way you can share the system with others, while at the same time giving you insight as to how you can improve communications patterns with them. It may also be fun to see how you score others as opposed to how they score themselves, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it gives you a variety of ways to do that. Like you said, in that sitting where you're in that setting where you're able to sit and do all this, work, writing, blah, blah, blah. But when you ask about uh assessing an aura on the spot, we moving into something different then. We're moving into seeing auras.
Yes.
So if you might not have a hint of a bonus book I might be bringing later on. So
Yeah, I got
seeing
you.
auras, if you remember when I was reading to you about the aura itself, I was saying that it talks about how you get further in tune with the ability to be able to be sensitive to the colors. So what we're talking about is learning how to do the same thing that Carillion photography does, basically. So you'll be able to um look at something, not any living thing, and see the energy that emanates around it. Like, in cartoons, they mimic it with like this pulsing light, and things like that. And it can be that for some people. And I've had people tell me it was easy, excuse me, for them to uh see auras, and for others it was not. One of the things that I found in the difference in the groups of people that are able to see them more easily than others is that the ones who were able to see them easy were very in tune with self and very intuitive.
Mm.
They were very, like, almost like your not your clairvoyant, because those people would be able to understand the frequency of the clairaudient, and clairvoyant would be able to understand the frequency more. You would be talking more about like your empaths,
Right.
people with that strong empathic energy. Many times are able to see colors. Think about when we would watch the cartoons or something, and they show the person seeing red, or they
Mm-hmm.
black out, or they say, "Oh, I'm about to black out." What
Mm-hmm.
happens is that something happens when they either just see a color or whatever, or go into darkness, what have you. Same thing kind of with this aura thing. You begin to, it almost looks like a person is vibrating a little
Mm.
bit, because that's what it really is,
Okay.
because you learn to read the energy around them. That's
Okay.
basically
Okay.
really what you're doing. And it takes time. And some people say, oh, people just pretend to see it or whatever. You know what? Again, um, I remember taking those photos, and I've done more than one over the years. And what I'll do sometimes is I'll do one maybe 1 year and wait 3 or 4 years and do another one and compare them to see if they look the same. Think about what I had going on the last time I had
Mm.
one doing, I had one in now. And the other key part is learning to see your own. That is how you begin to see others, is learning to see your own. So practicing looking for that shell outside of yourself, learning to see it, knowing that it's there, learning to feel it. You can, if you close your eyes and somebody gets within 6 feet of your face, you can feel it. You
Mm-hmm.
can feel it. So that's why even in the beginning of this, it talks about how it extends out 6 feet. Outside of that 6 feet, that's the normal range of the aura. But there are people who can feel 12 feet away. There are people who can feel a state away. And
Hmm.
this is why distance Reiki works.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah.
Same thing.
Mm-hmm.
So again, um, he or she, and I'm going to finish it with this because we know we're talking about her method. And again, a lot of times I'm sharing multitudes of instances that I've come across something. So we're going to come back to what she says here. Remember that when I speak of seeing the aura, I mean I see the rays of light, not color pigmentation like the dyes and paints we are used to on our walls and clothing. All color theory is based on the principle of that the color is light. When a beam of white light passes through a prism, a spectrum of the entire range in its pure colors is visible to the human eye and that is formed. And the color wheel associated with the spectrum of pure light has three primary colors: violet blue, orange red, and green. The color pigmentation wheel contains the primaries red, blue, and yellow. And the differences between the light spectrum and the light pigmentation spectrum is the difference between a rainbow seen in the sky and a rainbow painted on a piece of paper. Your main color in your aura is your personality color and indicates your behavior and character style. And as you become aware of your aura color, you can choose situations and actions that work for you and that are in harmony with your natural inclinations and that your brain and nervous system can handle most efficiently and bring you the most joy. And when you're able to recognize that, you're able to see it because it's a common frequency, one that you recognize, a pattern you recognize. It's like when you it's like for an Aquarius that meet another Aquarius. It's like we know. You know what I mean? We don't know why we know, but we know. It's something there that lets us know we are amongst our own kind. Yeah. So again, we have to remember there's a psychology of the aura, and it does really talk about frustration and jobs and burnout and all these different things and how that changes things in the aura. So again, like I said, this is just a really great learning tool. And if not for nothing, it allows us to take a moment to check our temperature in terms of our personality. A lot of those questions, while some of them make you laugh, it's like it's telling something. It's telling something. No matter what those numbers add up to, we done now answered these questions, and it's like, oh, okay. I ain't even thinking. And I would encourage people to go through the questions straight as they are. Don't think about them. Just answer them. Because if you give them too much time, you're going to put what you think sounds right.
Right.
Versus what you really, truly stand on, or what you truly believe, or how you truly feel. So I tell people, go through. Don't be calculated. Be like a child. Go in and wonder, and excitement and adventure. You're about to meet a new person, and guess who it is? You. So, what color is your aura? By Barbara Bowers. Great book, fall work, and I'm excited to get to it. It's a lot of work to be done between now and fall, so I got my work cut out for me because this is a pretty healthy book and it is very, very detailed. I think anyone who really wants to understand the subject will have a great time with this book. I went through a lot to, it was, I'm not going to say there wasn't a lot of work on the color of your aura, but not from this perspective when I was looking at what would be helpful. And I'm always looking for books that are good team builders as well, because a lot of times when some of our people come together in workshops, they don't know each other. And this is a way to begin to know yourself and know each other and hit the ground running and break the ice, and people laughing and, oh, I didn't know that about myself, or, so it's a great self-discovery tool and an ice-breaking tool. So, for all my people that put together HR events and all that stuff like that, looking for a good icebreaker, something like this would be fun. Yes. Detailed, but fun.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It will be fun, and yeah, and it just serves so many purposes. It's fun, and then you also mentioned when you're sharing the information about the author, who who's a teacher. Also, this could definitely be one of those tools, or it should be one of those tools that can assist schools, teachers, administrators, guidance counselors on building culture within the school, and also within helping students find, young people find their, or discover their interests and their possible career inclinations, just like the other metaphysical sciences, just like with astrology and the numerology that helps you discover similar information about yourself. Yeah, it could be used in a variety of ways. So yes, this is a awesome, awesome offering. And like I said, I'm going to be joining fall study, so I am going to get this book. I may not get it right now. I'll probably wait until we get ready to
Yeah,
start
wait until
fall
the
study.
announcement because we may be able to get some. So wait until the announcement. We may have a couple to donate and give in scholarship packages. So if anyone
Okay.
is interested, get in that DM and let us know about your interest, and we'll put your name on that list so some scholarships become available that'll help offset the cost of taking the courses over the fall and winter.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. And it's funny you mentioned the Curlian photographs, because the book that I mentioned to you yesterday, that author, that's one of his things that he's done, besides the doing the lottery stuff. He was also a Curlian photographer, so he used to have clients that he used to take photographs and do analysis for. So the synchronicities be lining up.
It's so crazy because I looked at my picture the other day before I decided to bring this book, and I looked at the picture and I put the picture away, and then later on I ended up pulling the book from my other bookshelf in the other room. So I was like, I must have knew what I wanted to do then, but just didn't. I wasn't listening. I had a lot of other stuff going on. But yeah, I was not familiar with that photography. And I remember the first couple of times I saw it, I was like, that don't work, yo. I'm just taking, they ain't getting my $15, my $20, man. Get out of here. And then I remember there was this lady that I used to vend with, and she was just talking about it and talking about it, and how hers had changed, and blah 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 and everything, and I was like, you know what, let me just try this, let me. So the first one, in my opinion, even though I got it and it gives you this report and it, and everything, and it sounds good, it wasn't until my second one that I could say that I trusted the process a little bit better, because I could see differences. And I could see differences. I knew what was going on different in my life at those different times. And and what the report said lined up with the last report, but in a way where it had evolved. So the situation that was going on then had resolved itself, and it was proven in that photo and in that report. So I said, oh well, maybe I should give this a little more weight, take a little look at this. So yeah, it's I might have a hard time saying the word, but I have a great time interpreting the picture, because it's something to stare at, because you have an all black background, and then your face and body is there, and then you got these colors around you, and they're not everywhere. They're not, and that was the other thing. They're not like this. You know what I mean? They showed them they show themselves in different places. So instead of having like instead of you being able to see like a solid red line or a solid purple line, or I mean not purple but violet or lavender, it's like you see glimpses. It's almost like glares against the face or the outside of the body. So it's very interesting. I again, I will say, moving forward on the wish list for Mawulisatemple brick and mortar space, we do have one of those cameras on our wish list. So we have one of those on our wish list. So if you wanna be a helper in the community, yeah, let us know. But yeah, we would like to have one of those because I think it would be a great addition to the course. I mean, it's nothing like hands-on work, being able to see it for yourself, because that is truly what changed my perspective, because I did not really, because I couldn't tap in at that time enough to see with my naked eye. Those pictures actually gave me something tangible to take a look at and see if there was enough of a marked difference, knowing only what I knew, because I didn't even take the second picture with the same person, and I had taken it like 2 years later. So it wasn't like they were like, I took one on Monday and one on Friday. I took some time in between. And like I said, the issues that were going on that the report highlighted in that next one, where you saw a change in that energy and that color, it spoke directly to the issue that was going on formerly that had been resolved. So
interesting.
Yeah. So it proved itself. Oh, that's the best way to say it. It proved itself.
Yeah, the proof proved it.
it proved it in the proof in the pudding. That's where it was at. So now I'm all tucked out, man. I'm ready to know what you got going on. What you got going on over there, bruh? I know it's good.
Yeah. It's pretty good. It's pretty good, and it addresses another part of our health and well-being. So, with the Aura book and with the DNA field and law of resonance, and the some of the other books that we have brought. These books deal with more of the spiritual side, but of course we know everything's connected: spiritual, the mental, the physical. But my offering addresses our physical well-being. But like I said, everything's connected. So what we do for our physical selves, whether that's considering our diet, or our libet, what we consume, what we eat, what we drink, what we read, how much we move, our movements, our exercise. It also has spiritual results. But my physical offering, or my offering that addresses the physical well-being, it deals with food, right? It deals with food. So we talked about food earlier in the year. We talked about canning, and we talked about mindful eating. So we brought books in that sense. But what I haven't brought yet was a recipe book, cookbook.
My man.
Yes. So
we love to eat. We love to eat.
yes, we do. And we love to eat. And it's even better when we can eat healthy and the food is delicious and healthy at the same time. Because oftentimes food is delicious, but it's not necessarily good for us. Or food isn't prepared in a way, or healthy food isn't prepared in a way where it's appealing to the palate or tasty. So it's best, or it's great when we're able to get the best of both worlds. It's delicious and it's healthy for us. So my offering for this episode 48 is food for vegans and vegetarians. Get the glare and get the lamp out of the way. There we go. Yeah, food for vegans and vegetarians, a Nuwaupian guide to longevity and well-being by Chef Otis J. Wagner and Aura Wagner.
All right.
Yes, yes. Put the banner up there. All right. So this is a book that and like I said, it's a Nuwaupian guide. So this book I actually bought from a Nuwaupian brother.
Yes, yes. Shout out to my
Downtown
Nuwaupian
Newark.
family.
Yeah, yep, downtown Newark. No, shout out to downtown Newark, New Jersey, to be exact. So shout out to brother Seth. I bought this book from him maybe around 2015. I never read it, so this is a completely unread. But I did loan it to someone. I got it back, but I did loan it to someone. But I haven't read it myself, which is interesting. And I got to preface this by saying that I'm neither vegan nor vegetarian, but what I do with veganism, vegetarianism is I kind of have my meals and my cooking and my preparation on a cycle. So if I've eaten or if I prepared animal products, meat, fish, things of that nature, a few weeks in a row, I'll bring in, I might do like a week or two of no meat, like meat, meatless, or no animal products. But I really try to limit the amount of animal products that I do consume, even though I'm not vegan and vegetarian, but I do find myself replacing animal products, not outside of meat, so like the cheeses and like the dairy and all of that and eggs. I do find myself substituting for those items. But since I've been on that journey of kind of cycling in the vegan and the vegetarian dishes periodically in my meal prep, I decided that this book will help me come up with more ideas of dishes to prepare. Because I think one of the challenges and one of the reasons why I don't eat as much plant-based as I probably should is because you run out of ideas of what to make. And I know some people that are really heavy into this lifestyle, they make some very amazing dishes that are made up of whole ingredients, not that processed stuff, not the go to the freezer section of the grocery store and you see something that say vegan, but it's ultra processed, or it got, a bunch of soy and other stuff in it. So I figured I wanted to get on that track of learning how to make more dishes with whole foods, like whole fruits and vegetables, whole grains, and things of that nature. So I'll share some information about this book. I'll read some information about the author, his background, as well as the contents and some of the types of dishes and foods and drinks that are in this book and the recipes. So it says about the author, a health activist, Chef Otis J. Wagner, aka Elder Hutip Sabaq, promotes healthy eating and longevity worldwide. With over 25 years of experience in the culinary industry and a graduate of Star Career Academy, formerly known as the New York Food and Hotel Management School, he has also studied Wu Nuwaup, our spiritual science, or Nupu, the science of the nature of nature, for 45 years under the master teacher and guide in this day and time, Pa Nabab Yanoon, aka Dr. Malachi C.K. York, who greatly influenced his life and culinary career. He was honored to be his personal chef on the holy land of Jazir Abba Island in upstate New York, in the Catskill Mountains, in the Tamaray, Egypt of the West. Some of his recipes were influenced by his travels to Dubai, Abu Dhabi, London, and the USA. He is planning a trip to Ghana, West Africa in November of this year. And this year would be 2013. So that's when this book came out. So that's so this is goes back to 2013. Where did I leave off here? Oh yeah, for the past 10 years, he's been a cooking connection chef at HEB, where he and his fellow chefs do live cooking demonstrations and recipe research and development. There are three chefs. They do live cooking demonstrations for the customers, and you can taste the food, real meal solutions. And we also do food and wine pairing classes, 5 courses, wine with each course, Ciao Italia, Tuscany, Mediterranean, Tex-Mex, Cajun, Creole, Caribbean, Egyptian, Asian, Jamaican, and Indian. We launched our Food for Thought recipe book in London, UK in 2013. It was on this journey that he became a pescatarian/vegetarian. Raw live foods, fresh fruit, green vegetables, herbs and spices, moringa and chlorella, spirulina, alkaline water, and exercise as if your life depends on it. Mother Nature has already helped you succeed if you are healthy. From the sayings of Pa Nabab Yanun, aka Dr. Malachi Z.K. York. I was tripping up a little bit because there was quite a few punctuation and capitalization and typographical errors on the back of this description here. But I'm sure.
Yeah, books. The books printed back, was different.
Yeah, but
self-publishing was a little different back then.
Yes, especially if you don't pay to have an editor. That's
true.
And Sister Seshat Ali talked about the importance of that when we interviewed her a while back.
Yes, the Adventures of Patty B.
Yeah, Patty B. She said, "You want to be taken serious? You better hire an editor for that."
Absolutely, for that agreed.
Yes. So, like I said, this was published in 2013, and like you said, self-published. And the contents include the dedications, a biography, or foreword. And then when it comes to the recipes, there's a few different types of recipes in here. So we have recipes for different types of salads, soups, pastas, warm dishes and snacks. And then we also have some drinks, some beverages. We have some smoothie recipes and some raw juice recipes too. And then there's a chapter on acidic and alkaline foods, food pyramid for vegans, and nutritional information. And so we have the dedications here. Got them, of course, there's the master teacher in there, portrait of the master teacher. Then he has his biography, so some additional information that was not included on the back of the book, but he has some additional information about him and his life. And then in the foreword, discusses vegetarian vegan eating habits and perspective and bringing up vegetarian vegan children. And he has some tips here for vegan diets for children and how to transition children into that lifestyle. And then he goes to the recipes. So I'll share, what I'll do is I'll share a recipe from each section here. So from the salads, we have the first salad recipe is the Naguru, eyed pea, and a caramelized onion salad. So he has the ingredients list and the instructions on the next page. So the ingredient list for this, the goru-eyed pea and caramelized onion salad, you need a half pound of dry black-eyed peas, soaked in water overnight and drained, 5 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil, 2 medium yellow onions, small diced, 3 medium garlic cloves minced, 1 teaspoon of sea salt, plus more for seasoning, a half a teaspoon of freshly ground black pepper, plus more for seasoning, 3 tablespoons of red wine vinegar, 1 medium fennel bulb trimmed and cut into medium dice, 3 tablespoons of finely chopped fresh dill, and 5 ounces of kale and collard greens. And here's the instructions. Place the peas in the medium saucepan, cover with cold water by 1 inch, and season generously with salt. Bring to a boil over high heat. Reduce heat to low and simmer until beans are tender, about 25 to 30 minutes. Drain and set aside. Heat 2 tablespoons of the oil in a large frying pan over medium heat until shimmering. Add onion, garlic, 1 teaspoon kosher salt, and pepper, and cook, stirring occasionally until onions are softened and brown, about 15 minutes. Stir in vinegar. Remove the pan from heat and add reserved peas, fennel, dill, and 2 tablespoons of the oil, stirring to combine. Season with more salt and pepper as needed. In a large bowl, toss greens with remaining 1 tablespoon oil and season with salt and pepper. Top with black-eyed pea mixture and serve. So that is a salad. Unfortunately, the table of contents are not numbered by page number.
Okay.
So that might have been something else that could have benefited from the help of an editor. Added the page numbers
just for organization's sake, if nothing else, right?
Right. But okay, so soups. We have the hearty Nuwaupian bean and spinach soup with rosemary. Time 10 minutes. I guess that's prep time. Total time 25 minutes. Serves 2 to 3. The ingredients of a 1/4 cup extra virgin olive oil divided, 1 onion, medium finely sliced, about 1 cup, 1 stalk of celery, 6 cloves of garlic, 1 teaspoon of fresh rosemary, 1 quart of vegetable stock, 1 bay leaf, 15 ounces of white beans, 1 bunch of spinach, 2 teaspoons of juice, 1 lemon, ground black pepper, and kosher salt. And you're going to heat the 2 tablespoons of oil in the medium saucepan over medium-high heat until simmering. Add onions, celery, garlic, and rosemary. Cook, stirring frequently until onions and garlic are softened but not brown. About 4 minutes. Add broth, bay leaves, and beans. Bring to a boil, reduce to a bare simmer, and cook for 10 minutes. Add spinach and continue cooking until completely wilted, about 5 minutes longer. Season to taste with salt and pepper. Stir in lemon juice. Serve immediately, drizzling remaining olive oil over the bowls. And you got a little picture there of that soup there. It's in black and white, but there's yeah. Yep, so there's one of your soups there. Now your pastas. You have ancient Egyptian pasta salad. Prep time 25 minutes, serves 4 to 10. And for this recipe, you'll need a 1/3 cup of small diced red onion, 3 tablespoons of red wine vinegar, half a teaspoon of dried oregano, kosher salt, 1 pound of fusilli pasta, 1 cup of marinated artichoke hearts, drained and coarsely chopped, 1½ cups of medium diced provolone cheese, a 1/3 cup finely chopped oil-packed sun-dried tomatoes, 1/4 cup finely chopped fresh Italian parsley leaves, 2 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil, and freshly ground black pepper. And you're going to place the onion, vinegar, and oregano in a large non-reactive bowl. and stir to combine, set aside. Bring a large pot of heavily salted water to a boil over high heat. Add the pasta and cook according to the package directions. Drain and rinse under cold water until cool. Drain any excess water and transfer to the bowl with the onion vinegar mixture. Add the remaining measured ingredients and toss until evenly combined. Taste and season with salt and pepper as needed. Serve at room temperature or prepare up to 1 day in advance and refrigerate until ready to serve. So, yep. So that was the pasta, and then, like I said, you have other warm dishes. So you have cream of pumpkin soup. You got a healthy Nuwaupian spaghetti with marinara sauce, roasted kale chips with Himalayan salt and balsamic vinegar. Also got a couple sweet treats in here too. So we got Moroccan lentil, mushroom, and sweet potato pie, Tex-Mex sweet potato burritos, and then that brings us to our beverages. So you have raw juices, smoothies, and shakes. So you got green juice a la Chef Otis. And for this juice, you need 1 cucumber, 3 stalks of celery, 3 leaves of kale, 1 apple, 1/3 cup of flat leaf parsley sprigs, half a lemon, a pinch of moringa powder. And then to prepare this juice, of course, there's further directions in here. I just read the quick list of the ingredients, but there's further directions in here for how, what needs to be peeled, what skin can be left on for certain ingredients, how things should be cut. So all of that is in the ingredient list too. But it says to feed the cucumber, celery, kale, apple, parsley, moringa, and lemon into a juicer and discard the solids. And you also have nutrition facts. So you got nutrition facts for grapefruit back here.
One of my favorites.
Yep, mine too. There's a grapefruit, carrot, and ginger recipe on the next page.
I love that combination.
Mm-hmm. Then you also have smoothies. So those are some of the juices. Now here's one of the smoothies. You got a healthy blackberry ginger smoothie, and it's described as a healthy, delicious, and filling smoothie. Ingredients like berries, spinach, apple, ginger help to detox and jumpstart your body into a healthy new year. The oats add some fiber to this smoothie, and you will feel full for a longer time. The banana adds to the creaminess of the smoothie, provides extra nutritional value such as potassium, and it sweetens the smoothie without having to add additional sweetener. So you'll need 1 cup of frozen blackberries, 1 apple, 1 banana, 2 to 3 handfuls of spinach, fresh ginger, peeled oats, and fresh orange juice. So that's one of the smoothies. Then you got more nutritional facts for fruits and vegetables, pomegranates and mangoes.
Mm-hmm.
And then Chef Otis's wife, she has some of her favorite recipes and well-being tips too. So this is her section of the book here, her tips and recipes, her favorite recipes there. So in this section of the book, I'm going to share with you my fitness tips along with my favorite easy to prepare recipe created by my husband, Chef Otis J. Wagner, who tips in Sabaq. So she has a strawberry and banana smoothie. And she has and here's one of her fit and healthy tips. That's her on the bike right there.
Nice.
Uh-huh. And it says, I I am an aspiring model, so exercise and staying fit are essential to me. I start my mornings early with a walk in the park or riding my bike because exercise is one of the keys to longevity. I also drink alkaline water and live a healthy pescatarian lifestyle. I am also a two-time beauty contestant in one of the largest natural hair shows in Texas, known as the Enzori Natural Hair, Health, and Beauty Festival. Mrs. Leola Anofawalshi is the founder of this huge event, and I would like to thank her. I just recently signed on with One Source Talent as a model, and I am anticipating even more great opportunities to come my way.
All right now.
Yep. And so the book closes out with tips for vegetarians as far as making sure you get the adequate minerals and nutrients, because sometimes that's what's missing from a lot of vegetarian and vegan diets. So even though they're not eating meat or animal-based products, sometimes they can miss out on vital nutrients such as protein, iron, calcium, zinc. And so these pages tell you what foods to eat to ensure that you get those minerals. So we got food sources of calcium for vegans, incorporating beans and peas to your vegan way of life. And I mentioned soy. So there's a section on here about soy. Are soy foods safe? And
there's been so much debate about that since that time. And
yes.
I think people realize that, you know, a lot of the things that they consume anyway are loaded with soy, or has soy snuck in there somewhere, or corn or something else. So we you know, we've talked before about the politics of food and why things are the way they are. So that's definitely still a hot topic right there.
Yes, it is. And in this section on soy foods, it discusses the soy in, you know, from different perspectives, how they affect men, the effects on breast cancer and thyroid function and cognitive function, and for children. So they go into all of that and nutrient absorption. And yeah, that's where the book ends. There's a short list of references, websites here. Now, just keep in mind this book was published in 2013, so some of these websites may still be active, some of them may not, but yeah, those are the references there, the websites in the back. And yep, so this is my offering, and I'll just say that there are differences within the vegetarian and vegan community. So this is based on the guidelines of for Nuwaupians, but we know others, you know, such as, you know, Dr. Sabi. He had his own list of approved foods, and there's also, you know, the blood type based diet where you eat according to your blood type. Like, for example, I was interested in this before I even learned about the blood type diet. I got this book, and my blood type is A positive, and according to that science, this is how I should be eating anyway. You know, mostly vegetarian. But even within that, there's specific types of fruits, vegetables, grains, and beverages that are beneficial, that are neutral, and that are harmful. But there's also been a lot of speculation and debate about the blood type diet. Some say it's not scientifically based, or it's not effective, and there's some people who live by it and they benefited greatly from it. So, and it's the same thing with all of these types of food lists and diets, you know, like I said, the Dr. Sabies and you know, some of
Dr.
the others.
Africa.
Dr. Africa, yep, Dr. Africa. I have Dr. Africa's book back there on the shelf too, African Holistic Health, which has a
Right.
lot of
And then the book from the Nation,
yes,
Eat to
how to eat
Live,
to live. Yep.
so I mean there's a lot of opportunities out there for us to understand the food world better and what we should be consuming to live healthier, fuller lives.
Yeah.
I found it interesting. Like, first let me just say, we always have the synchronicities with our books. And today was a surprising book, and I told you I wasn't gonna bring this one at first. I was gonna bring a Nuwaupian book.
Wow.
That's crazy, yo. That's
Wow.
crazy. I thought about that. I was gonna bring a Nuwaupian book because it's one of the is I think the title is what is it 365 questions to ask a Sunni Muslim or something like.
Oh,
I was gonna
yeah.
bring that one, and then I was
Oh,
like, you know what? Nah, you know what? I'm gonna bring this one because this is what we focusing on for fall. So. But I just wanted to say thank you for that because it's another confirmation for me that
yes.
I'm working in tune and in line with my higher self, and we be on it.
Yes, we do. Yes,
We
we
be
do.
on
Yeah.
it. We be on it. Like I really dig that. Um, as someone who was not raised vegetarian or vegan, and then to accept that as the lifestyle that I wanted to raise my children with, it was I found, just like you said, it was difficult to find um recipes, like you don't really know how to supplement some of the things. But one of the things that I say, what it did do, it was make me ask questions like, well, why are we eating this? Why is this the choice? And when I was able to look at why is this the choice, I was like, okay, so it's telling me I need vitamin da 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 da. Well, what vegetables or what other combination of foods can I bring together, fruit and vegetable wise, to be able, or grain wise, to be able to give my children the same thing? Now, I would say that the lifestyle is difficult. It can be difficult and challenging for children, especially if you have other people who are part of their nutritional lives that don't quite understand why you feed them like you feed them. And again, this was back when all this stuff wasn't really as accepting as it is now. Now, because of so many allergies and other things, whatever the parent tell you to give the kid, just give it to them. But back then, I remember I
What?
remember, oh, may Allah continue to be pleased with her. I'm about to talk about my aunt. I remember my aunt had my aunt Frida. She I had left the kids over her house or whatever. And I don't know which one of them told her, well, we can't eat that because it's meat, or whatever. So when I come back over to pick them up, she hushes and pulls me to the side and she said, I had a friend who had twin daughters, and one of them was a vegetarian and one of them wasn't. And they was in a car accident, and the one that was a vegetarian died. The one that was a vegetarian died because her bones were so brittle. I was like, Lord God. I was like, I'm Frida, why? She said, no, no, no. I'm telling you, they said that, her injuries were so bad. Hey, she ain't have enough vitamins and minerals to help her. She needed some meat. She needed meat. And I was like, yeah, I'm kind of not thinking that that's what the problem was. And it was so ridiculous. Later on, she admitted that it was just, she didn't understand what was going on in terms of diet, but she was making up the story because she felt like the children weren't getting the nutritional value that they needed from the food that I was offering them. And she didn't know how to just say that. So she makes up this insane story about two identical identical twins. One ate meat, one didn't, one lived, one died. All the extremes that people will go to tell, But what I will say is that it was an interesting journey with my children. And my youngest son, while I thought he was being raised purely vegetarian, let me know later in life that he would sneak off to his friend's house and eat meat. So he was not really sneaking, because believe me, you can tell the difference between somebody that eat meat and somebody who don't, especially when you're their mom. But nonetheless, he laughs at it now because he has children of his own and he's raising them with a particular diet and lifestyle. So it's interesting to see him navigate that nutritional world after being a fraud in his own for so much. But he makes it no secret that he'd be like, oh yeah, my mom and them, they're vegetarian, but not me. So it's definitely a choice in lifestyle. And there's a lot of great food out there. And right now, I think a lot of people are doing a lot of vegetarian and vegan recipes. You got a gazillion TikToks and Instagram sites that cover some really great recipes. Even desserts and, like you said, drinks and all that stuff like that. And we love a good sweet treat. And any way you can make that where it's all natural and healthy is great. At one time, I remember my only options for giving the children sweet treats. Oh, did you hear that thunder?
I heard it. I heard it. Man, that was loud.
Oh, we almost done, y'all. Y'all know who know.
Mm-hmm.
But I remember my options used to be obviously fresh fruit, or some type of fruit pie or fruit dessert, and then sherbet. That was the only other thing I really knew how to do, which was really just frozen fruit, ground up or what have put in the blender and frozen. So those were the only things I really knew how to make at first. But as time moved forward and I started to go to different groups and things like that, I learned about how to cook with different things, and I love cooking with pumpkin, dates, all these things. I make some really great date cookies, and they're good for iron as well as this being tasty. So you begin to learn, and it's a great process. And like you said, and everybody's body is different, so everybody's gonna kind of need something different. So what I tell people is this another great place to explore. Just check your allergies, and get busy. And I found it interesting when you were reading the one pasta recipe, that it just mentioned plain fusilli. It didn't mention any particular kind. And nowadays that probably would be garbanzo bean, or spinach veggie pasta, or something like that, because that was still ending up, if they didn't specify a certain kind, it was still processed pasta. You know what I mean? So you learn as you move along.
Yeah, yes you do.
Interesting book though. I love that. I love it.
Yes. So I put that disclaimer out there because and I'm glad you re-emphasize the allergies and also just how the body responds to certain things, because the misconception is just because something is a fruit or a vegetable doesn't necessarily mean that it's good for your specific body. You got the micro, what do you call it, the microbiome, gut. So certain things that you're becoming sensitive to, I can tell with my own ascension. I guess it's ascension, spiritual ascension / aging. My stomach is becoming more sensitive to certain things. So that's something that I'll probably need to do soon, is go and get that test done to see what what foods agree or disagree.
Yes, because it changes.
Yeah.
I mean, my daughter, my youngest daughter, is a perfect example. She's 30 years old. One of the very first, outside of breastfeeding, one of the very first things she ever had was bananas. And back, I want to say 2016 or something, around 16 or 17, she went to Florida, and she's in Florida chilling, relaxing, having a good time. She had some bananas, and she said all of a sudden she just felt like her throat was closing, and she was having a severe reaction to bananas. Now she is allergic to bananas, can't have nothing with it in it. Anything that got bananas, can't even touch it.
Wow.
And I mean, still the same girl, nothing. I mean, and like I said, from a baby, outside of breast milk, fruit and vegetables was all they had.
Wow.
And banana was one of the, any parent that's listening knows bananas is one of the first fruits that you give the babies.
Yeah.
You know, so she's been eating bananas all these years, and then a couple of years ago, just not able to eat them no more. Went and had a test done, allergic. And several nuts that she used to be able to eat, she can't eat anymore. So your body changes too, you know. So I would always tell people, you know, pay attention, listen to your body. You know, it'll tell you what works and what doesn't.
Yep. Yes, it will. Yes, it will. Yeah. Yeah. So, yep. So, yeah. Yep. So that goes out to all of the health experts out there and the diet experts, you know, before before you get on us about mixing, you know, because there's some recipes in there about with some of the smoothies in there. We're mixing certain fruits together and mixing fruits and vegetables together and mixing strawberries and bananas together and all of that. You know, I know there's some folks out there that say that certain things shouldn't be combined. So, you know, that's the disclaimer for everybody out there.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. We don't pretend to diagnose or treat anything here on UnRead or even at Mawulisatemple. We just strive and thrive to share with you the information that we have, and we ask that you take it, you know, and use what applies and let the rest fly. You know,
that's right. But I will say that now that this is probably the most I've gone through this book, so I think it's about time that I need to open this up and, you know, check out some of these recipes and try them out, because I've looked up recipes online, but now that I got this book back, I can try some of the recipes that are in here that, of course, align with you know, with my body and the specific types of foods and ingredients that I can eat that are beneficial to me. So
right.
Well, it's right there on the screen on the banner, Foods for Vegans and Vegetarians. But the subtitle is A Nuwaupian Guide to Longevity and Well-Being. And this is by Chef Otis J. Wagner, aka Hutip Sabaq, and his wife, Aura Wagner, aka Ptah Bit Jet.
All right. Well, I think we done did that thing.
We did.
I think we did it. What did y'all think, guys? What did y'all think? Come on. What color is your aura? Giving you some food and snacks and ideas on new treats that you can eat. So I mean, I think we brought some great stuff. What surprised me? What do you think? Were you surprised with mine? Because I was surprised with yours.
Yeah.
And let me say, I have consciously not brought a cookbook on purpose. Just I was like, you know what? Bring the cookbook. Well, what am I going to do? Am I going to just bring the cookbook and talk about the recipes? And I was like, I don't know. Yeah. But you know, got a lot of cookbooks.
Yeah, I know you do.
I got a lot of cookbooks. I got some pretty good cookbooks. So I got some ancient cookbooks, you know. And that was one of the reasons that made me think about the pasta, because in this particular cookbook that I'm thinking about right now, it talks about the different grains and which ones are healthy and which ones are not, and which ones you
Exactly.
make pasta out of, which ones you make bread out of, which so I definitely want to commend you for bringing the cookbook, because I've
Yeah.
been hesitant to do so. So
Yeah. Yep.
kudos, Nick.
And
That's
I
another
agree
one
with
in
the
the book for
pasta.
him, y'all.
Yep. Yeah, and I agree with the pasta because especially when I was after I did my consultation with Kimberly, shout out to Kimberly. She did my food list for the blood type diet a few years ago. She introduced me to some more of those healthier types of pastas as compared to those what do you call those? Those not refined pastas, but you know, but
Enriched, the
yeah, the
enriched
enriched
ones.
pasta. Yeah, exactly, the enriched pasta. So yeah, I definitely aware, and I'm doing better. Like when I do eat pasta, of choosing healthier options for the pasta. So like you said, the garbanzo pasta, the red lentil pasta.
Red
I like
lentil,
that.
yeah.
Yeah, like red lentil and the black bean pasta too. So
Yeah,
yeah.
you and I have exchanged some different brands of the red lentil
Mm-hmm.
pastas. When I tried that new one, I let you know about that one. And
Yeah.
garbanzo bean is always one of my favorite, just because I love chickpeas. I
Yeah.
I, I can eat a chickpea any way you give it to me. You
Oh
know,
yeah. Same
so
here.
so I love those, but definitely the red lentils are so powerful. I just
Mm-hmm.
was recently watching a documentary on medicine of the Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, because I'm working on modifying my herb course, and in that we talk about herbs of the Bible, which covers grains and things like that, and pasta. So um I was looking at this documentary, and they were talking about just how powerful, what a superfood lentils are, and how there had been some political movements to do things with red lentils, with the source of red lentils, and the powers that be fought back against it, because
Mm.
the red lentils were more valuable than they could, than they could, for whatever it was they were offering, or saying that the side effect was, what have you. So I thought that was really, really interesting, because red lentils are one of those things that very economical. You can eat it in so many ways, and do so many things with it. So it's something that people should definitely keep in their essentials in their home. And that black eyed pea recipe, very similar to many of the black eyed pea salads that we see out there, with and without greens. So definitely
Yes.
familiar with that one as well. That one also can be done with green beans, that
Mm.
black eyed pea one.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Well, like you said, we did it. We did it. Got another one. You know, almost to episode 50. We almost there.
Yes, we are working it. So when is the next time we back, Nick? So we can get on out of here and let this thunder finish thundering and lightning. Excuse me for all you that heard me. My grandmother was like, turn everything off and listen. But
Yep.
you know, but
Yep.
when
My
is the next
parents.
time we're back, bro?
Yeah, my parents would say that too. Or my definitely my father would say that. So we back on, okay. So this is August 8th. So it looks like we'll be back on August 22nd.
All right.
Yeah, August 22nd.
Oh, I know you're gonna be able to tell us something about that day of numerology wise.
I mean,
You know,
yeah.
you figure we got that 8 and that 4. Well, the two twos, which is a 4, but not really. So yeah, I'm excited to see that one, and that won't be surprise me. So we'll know what we bringing to the table
Yep,
that day. So
that's
I'm
right.
excited about that.
Yep, I am too. I am too. Yep, you know, And I'm a master number 22. So I love that date.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Yeah.
sir. Yes, sir. I'm excited. I'm excited. Well, do you want to take us out or do you want me? What do we want to do here?
I mean, it's not much to say, but peace, right? That's all we got.
In
That's
that
all we
case,
got.
y'all.
Peace.